I want you to cry into your Hello Kitty pillow. I want you to put your headphones on. I want you to listen to some Taylor Swift. And I want you to shake it off, you bland bitch.
Hey, I took a nap. I never take a nap. We tried a new place in town. Well, it's not new. It's been around here for a while, but we're trying new places here in Flagstaff. We tried Aloha Barbecue. Yeah, some barbecue food, rice, and all that. And, oh, my gosh, my first time. Musubi? Is that how you say it? With the Spam and rice and the seaweed wrap. Oh, my gosh. I don't know what, man. I felt so at peace when I took a bite and all the goodness, and I was like, oh yeah, this is what I want. But what up, y'all? It's KB, the Sexy Ninja, in the place to be for a Paper Saber universe, and this is the New World Podcast, where we're going to talk about Elimination Chamber 2026 in Chicago at the United Center. Cole and Wade on commentary. A lot of outrage. Sorry, I'm trying to... a lot of outrage in the show I was seeing online. And, you know, I will never... I'm critical. I can be critical. And I'm going to be critical on this show, but I did overall enjoy the show. Didn't enjoy the outcomes of certain things. I would say that the outcomes of all 3 matches, 1 match I was fine with its finish, you know. So we'll just start off with the women's Elimination Chamber match, and yeah, I'm not gonna rage, you know. Like, the whole box thing was always silly, and it's wrestling. It's meant to be silly, but people get so mad when the reveal happened. Yeah. It's like, dude, shut up. I can't believe people like that. I really can't. You know, and these are the people that are doing the live streams. These are the people that like, you know, it's just like, stop. You know, it's not genuine. It's not a real reaction. Yeah, I get a little silly on the show, but geez, Louise, crackers and cheese, calm down. Bring it down. Talk like normal, you know. And then there's just rage bait clicks, you know. Someone's gonna be like, well, blah blah blah. I'm like, that's cool. That's your opinion. But no, I want you to hate it. I want you to hate what I'm saying. I am picking the most popular opinion that most people go against because I'm just that type of person. It's like, okay, cool. I'm just here for entertainment. I'm here because pro wrestling is my muse, man. I come here to find peace, and you don't find peace on the internet. I just come here to find what I want. But am I critical? Yeah. But it's my opinion, and we share it here, and we talk about it like human beings, and not me being like, but enough of that. Let's get to the match. Rhea versus Alexa versus Asuka versus Tiffy versus Kiana versus Raquel. And I will say the highlights of this chamber, Kiana and Raquel. Especially Kiana James, not the biggest fan of. But damn, girl, you did really awesome in this match. Raquel, I was really rooting for you. I was like, if anybody's going to be the biggest threat, hopefully to Jade, it was Raquel. Okay? But the first 2 people to start off this chamber is Tiffy and Kiana. These 2 worked really well together. If you know, and like I said, I really enjoyed this. I like this one more than the men's chamber. I had a lot of fun. And I wasn't expecting the winner to be Rhea Ripley. You know, I did not expect that. And then it just came down to these 2, Tiffy, you know, eliminated. Just, you know, it was just funny. As I was like, man, you got Asuka, you got Alexa. And I feel like Rhea was the safe option, you know, because it's Rhea Ripley. Like, this is my brutality. Rhea Ripley, like the one of the biggest stars in the company, to go against Jade, who still needs work, And it came down to Tiffany and Rhea. There was some really great. There was one of my favorite spots. They showed Raquel's camera, POV camera. Steph did this backflip right into her pod, and Raquel's like, "Ha ha ha! It's what you get. It's what you get." Well, man, like I will say the MVPs of this was Kiana and Raquel. I really enjoyed them in this match, but it coming down to Rhea and Tiffy. I was really rooting for Asuka and Alexa in some way, but I was like, I really wanted some money on Raquel. I wanted something different. I wanted something new. We need to get Raquel going, show her as that threat to Jade, but no, they went with the safe option, which is not a bad thing. It's just, that's how I feel. They were just like, you know what? We need a big name going for the championship. You already have a huge championship match, with Punk and Roman. That's huge marquee, but also too, Roman versus Balor. That sounds awesome too, to a wrestling fan and not the world, because that's just the way WWE looks at it. But I think Rhea was the option just because they're like, hey, we need star power. And Jade is a star in her own right, but I think she has a ways to go to finally make everyone pop, because this championship reign for her has been kind of just okay. I feel like Jade deserves more than that. Don't you think? Drop those comments below. Then we go into the Intercontinental Championship match here with Becky versus AJ Lee. This match was good. I really enjoyed it. I think AJ Lee was the choice of this finish was the safe option. Once again, you're in Chicago. Her and Punk, I did not want Becky to lose it, but I feel like crazy Becky could be, because she lost the championship to AJ Lee, who she hates so much, hates her husband, and she's Sports Illustrated and all that. I feel like we're gonna get another level of Becky, because this heel Becky is one of my favorite heel Beckys. Usually she's better as a babyface, and she tries to do the heel thing, dressing extravagantly like her husband and this and that. But no, I think what Becky has here is something special that I will remember as her heel run in a very, very long time. But AJ Lee's our new Intercontinental Champion. Like I said, one of the safe options. Here, World Championship on the line to give Punk the Chicago. That's I'm not a big basketball guy, but I know that song. And then they show the jerseys, treating him like he's Jordan and stuff like that. And Punk comes out like Mussolini. Here he comes. The cult of personality. Chicago-made Punk. And versus Balor. And I knew Balor wasn't going to win. I was like, Punk versus Roman is money. We saw what they did together. We saw what they did together, and we with those that promo against each other, we're like, man, this is gonna be a fight. And this here was some good wrestling action. This was my second favorite match of the night. Punk versus Balor. And no crazy finish. Just two dudes beating the shit out of each other and wrestling until the point to where someone got the win, and that was Punk. Punk got a little bloody. And I really enjoyed this match, man. I'm going to go back and watch it again because of how much I enjoyed it. To the entrances, to Punk getting all that love in Chicago, it was awesome, man. And my hat's off, golf clap to Punk versus Balor, because that was one of my favorite matches on the card. And just one of my favorite wrestling matches, man. Balor shows respect to Punk. I was like, all right, maybe babyface Balor is coming. But what about the Demon? When are we going to see the Demon again? AJ Lee coming out, and I was like, aw, that's special. And then Punk posed nude with the titles, with the Intercontinental title and his heavyweight championship, kind of like it's a parody, well, not even kind of, a parody of the picture of Becky and Seth Rollins, the infamous picture of them being naked with wearing the titles over their privates and stuff like that. But I like that Punk was like trolling, and this will go on for the rest of our lives, man. Danhausen, huh? I was just like, oh, okay. I was like, man. And when they were like, we're going to reveal the crate, I was like, all right. And speculation was Jericho, And I think that's why everyone's so mad. I don't even think mad. I think everyone's just pretending to be mad. As I was just like, oh, okay. That's cool with me. I like Danhausen. I feel like he fits better here in the WWE mold than he does in AEW. I feel like you can do a lot of things with Danhausen. Yeah, I really liked that he came out. They did the dance, a little poof of smoke and stuff like that. I popped. I thought it was great. My wife thought it was great. I was like, yeah, and I was like, yeah, I speculation of Jericho. I think that's why a lot of people that were like disappointed was because they thought it was going to be something huge. And I think Danhausen is awesome, man. More power to Danhausen for being here. And someone's going to be like, you're saying his name wrong. Men's Elimination Chamber match. I will say great action, except for poor LA Knight, slipping. But I thought this was a lot of great action. I really didn't agree with the winner of this. This is the one match I was like, really? And then it made sense to me because what happens on the post show with Nick Aldis, a lot of great action here. Trick in that aura. Oh my God. Whoa, that Trick. He's on that thing that's spinning him a little around. You're like, yeah, that's the champion. That's future champion material right there, man. Javon being bouncy, we started off with Cody versus Javon. Then Logan, I just love when Logan got out Cody, Javon, and Trick started whooping Logan's ass. I didn't really agree with the Logan eliminating 3 people. I was like, oh, okay, that's cool, But LA Knight, that's who I was rooting for on this match. I was like, why are we not doing anything with LA Knight? It's like the Roman of old days, but the opposite, where they were trying so freaking hard to be like this guy, like him. Then eventually, when he finally got his footing in as the tribal chief and Paul Heyman, and it finally clicked, and we're like, yeah, he's our tribal chief. I don't want them to be like keep pushing off LA Knight to the point to where they finally push him, and we're like, yeah, you had your chance. Because I don't think LA Knight deserves that. I mean, when he got eliminated by Logan, I was like, as soon as he went, I was like, all right, as much as Cody's my dude, as much as Cody's my guy, I wanted something fresh and new. I was like, LA versus Drew McIntyre sounds awesome. And once again, and not the good way, I feel like they went with the safest option. Okay? Because they're trying to move things around to get to this match that they've been teasing for a while. So after that, Seth comes out. A fake person, masked man comes out. Then the real masked man takes out Logan Paul. And as Cody gets the pin over Logan to eliminate Logan, Seth was like, hey, you could tell it was Seth just by the way he was standing. I was like, all right, now that's Seth Rollins. That's Seth Rollins. And of course, I was like, all right, Cody and Randy, either or, fine, let's just do Cody. But no, here comes Drew McIntyre, and I'm like, oh, you asshole. He's going to cause it for Cody, and he pretty much does. And bada bing, bada boom, the winner is Randy Orton. So, yeah. Randy Orton. I wish Jacob Fatu was in this Elimination Chamber and not Logan. I would say best thing about this was Paul Heyman selling Seth Rollins' return. Like, no! Oh my God, no! You know, but yeah, I left a bitter taste in my mouth. I was like, all right, Randy versus Drew McIntyre. You know, let's send off Randy in a good way because this would be number 15, I think he said. But this is where I was like, oh, is this what we're doing? Because there was rumors, too, saying it was going to turn to a fatal 5-way match for Drew McIntyre's championship. We still can get there, but it's going to come down to what's going to happen this Friday on SmackDown. Because Nick Aldis told Drew McIntyre, I'm sick of this. I told you quit interfering, can quit doing this and that. So on SmackDown, you are putting up the WWE Championship against Cody Rhodes. And I was like, So either Cody wins and we finally get Randy Orton versus Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania, or Drew's going to do something to get himself disqualified, and Cody's going to be added to the match for WrestleMania, making it a triple threat, and we don't get the fatal 5-way like they were saying, and LA Knight gets shat on again. Awesome. So it's going to go one of those two ways, man. And I can be wrong, and I'm hoping I'm wrong, because being wrong and watching this stuff for so long as I have is something that, you know, I was like, oh, I'm surprised. But when they go with the safe options, it's just like, okay. But overall, I really had fun with Elimination Chamber. The action was great. The outcomes were what they were. I give it a solid 4 out of 5, you know. The men's chamber let me down just a little bit with the choices being made, but also too, you know, there's always something. And this is why I keep coming back, because it's just like, oh, I just love it. You know, we're wrestling fans. We're weird. We're like, oh, it's over. Oh, they're back. You know, just like everyone else in the world. So, and I've had my share of bitching on this show. I bitched about Roman. Shit. You can find those old podcasts. Bring them up. Remember, I used to hate Roman. You know, now he's my tribal chief. Wrestling fans. Hey. But 19,346 in attendance here for Chicago. Match of the night. Oh, what did I say? Oh, the women's Elimination Chamber match. Second match of the night, Punk versus Balor. Moment of the night. Danhausen. Evil. What's up, bruh? Welcome. All right, y'all. Tell me what you thought of the show. Drop those comments below. Hit that like, hit that subscribe, share with your grandma, share with your grandpa, share with the bum down at Walmart. I am KMB the Sexy Ninja. And remember that the New World Podcast is for life, brother.
Excommunicated from the vision. The man who